delicious. Enjoying that, Scruff? We're just thinking about our summer holidays, aren't we? What we like about, boys and girls. Look, it's the boys and girls. Hi, boys and girls. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Scruff and I, we were just thinking about what we love doing on our summer holidays. And as you can see, we absolutely love our ice lollies, don't we, Scruff? Should we just pop them down for a moment while we talk to the boys and girls? Yeah. And the other thing we enjoy is plenty of sunshine. We've got our sunny G's on. Yay! Good. Now, just take mine off so I can see you. You can keep yours on. Yes, that's good. Well, Scruff, where do you like going on your summer holidays? What's one of your favourite things? You're going to tell me and the boys and girls. You want us to guess? Oh, okay then. Are we ready to guess, boys and girls? Okay. Have you got any clues? Okay, you're going to show us a clue. Wow. Look, boys and girls, can you see that? It's a little lamb. Yeah. Right, so where do you think Scruff likes going for his holidays? You think they're guessing? I think I know. Okay. Is it a sheepdog show? Can you guess? Oh, I might have guessed it's a farm. Yes, you like going to a farm. So what do you like about the farm, Scruff? Seeing all the animals? The sheep, especially the sheep, yes? Oh, the llamas, sometimes llamas. Yes, that's unusual. And piglets. Oh, so many things to see. One bad thing, you don't like being put on the lead. Oh, okay. But the good news is, it's an extending lead. Yeah, okay. That's really good. Oh, right. How about me? Right. One of my favourite places, I'll give you a clue. I'm actually wearing something that might help you guess. Are you ready? Ready, Scruff? Ready, boys and girls? Can you see what it is? You're going to guess after 3. I'll show you something else that you might see on where I like going. And this one. Yeah, you think you've got it. Safari park. Did you guess with Scruff a zoo or a safari park? Yeah, that's so good. I don't think I've seen any lions. I've seen tigers there and elephants and giraffes, one of my favourite animals, but not lions. No. Okay. But in today's story, boys and girls, from the Bible, it's all about lions. It's about a man called Daniel. Daniel in the den of lions. And that's what we're going to listen to now. So, Scruff, are you ready for it? You want to sit on your favourite cushion, okay? Let's go and find your favourite cushion and eat your ice cream and enjoy the story. Okay, we'll let you do that. Hi there, boys and girls. We're all ready for the story. So today's story is taken from the Bible, from the book of Daniel, which we can find in the Old Testament. And it's called Daniel in the Den of the Lions. And here's Lenny the Lion to help us with the story. Lenny the Lion was so hungry. He licked his lips. It was way past his supper time. It was getting dark outside. He looked around the den. His friends were all asleep. How could they sleep, he thought to himself. I'm way too hungry to sleep. Where was their food? He licked his lips again. Suddenly, there was a loud thud, and it woke all his friends. Aha! At last! Something had landed in front of Lenny. That something started to move. This is worth waiting for, thought Lenny. A very tasty supper indeed, he roared, licking his lips again. The other lions jumped up, ready to pounce. Lenny crouched low, ready to pounce. He was ready, he was steady. Nothing. He opened his mouth to roar. No sound, not even a whisper. He looked around. The other lions stood frozen like statues, lion statues. They couldn't move a muscle. They couldn't move a whisker either. Oh, he was so hungry. His tummy was rumbling and grumbling inside him. All they could do was watch and wait, their beady eyes fixed upon the man. He knelt down on the floor of the den. He started talking. Now this man's name was Daniel, and Daniel was praying to God. Now because Daniel loved God so much, he talked to him 3 times a day, every day. Some people didn't like Daniel and they made a plan to get rid of him. When King Darius made a new law saying that no one should pray to God for 30 days, Daniel wasn't afraid, although he knew if he disobeyed, he'd be thrown into the den of lions. Yet, he still prayed. And here he was, in the den, still praying. But why couldn't they move? Then they heard Daniel asking God to keep him safe. God had shut their mouths, and God was stopping them from hurting Daniel. The minutes went by, the hours went by, when at last it was morning. Light began to creep through the door of the den. Suddenly there was a loud noise, and it was the king. King Darius was calling Daniel. Daniel, Daniel, did your God keep you safe? Oh, he was so pleased and happy to see that Daniel was okay. He said that he believed in God too, as he helped Daniel out of that den. Daniel thanked God for keeping him safe and for helping him do the right thing. And they walked away, shutting the door of the den behind them, leaving those lions.
Hello everyone, this is Ruth here. I hope you enjoyed that story of Daniel in the lion's den. It was quite an exciting story, wasn't it? Now you might know that during the summer holidays in our videos we've been hearing stories from the Bible about people who had adventures or who were heroes in different ways. And we're just going to think a bit about what actually makes Daniel a hero from the Bible. You know, sometimes when I hear a story, I like to ask myself some questions about it to see how much I've learned or remembered. So I thought we could do that now, and perhaps we could make it a bit of a quiz. So I will ask some questions. Here's my question mark. And you can think about the answers. And if there's someone there with you, then you can talk to them about it as well. And if you need to, you can pause the video if you need a bit longer to think. So, are you ready? Here's the first question. My first question is, who helped Julie tell the story of Daniel in the lion's den? Now usually when Julie tells a story, she has Scruff helping her, doesn't she? But today she has someone different, and it was Lenny the Lion. Here they are. Did you get that right? Okay, here's the next question. We heard in the story that Daniel was a good man who trusted God and wanted to do the right thing. Daniel prayed to God. That just means talking to God. And the question is, how many times a day did Daniel pray? What do you think the answer is? Well, we heard in the story that Daniel prayed 3 times a day. Did you get that one right? Okay, here's the next question. Daniel worked for a king. And the question is, what was the king's name? The king's name was King Darius. Well, some people call him King Darius because that's what it looks like when it's written down. Now then, some of the other important people who worked for the king didn't like Daniel, and they wanted to get rid of him. So they tricked the king into making a new law that said that nobody should pray to God for 30 days. And there was going to be a punishment if people broke this law. And the question is, what was the punishment for breaking the new law? Well, the punishment was that anyone who broke the law would be thrown into the lion's den. And I think that would be a pretty scary thing. Now, I don't know about you, but I think Lenny the Lion looks like quite a friendly lion. But I also think that real lions in a real lion's den would be much more frightening and ferocious. So I've got a question for you about lions. Do you know how many teeth a lion has? Now, I looked up the answer to that question on the internet, and I discovered that a lion has 30 teeth, which is actually about the same number as I have. I thought a lion might have had more teeth than that, but no, it says a lion has 30 teeth. The thing about a lion's teeth is that some of them, as you can see from this picture, are very, very sharp. So I don't think I'd want to end up in a lion's den. So we heard in the story that because Daniel chose to follow God's way instead of the king's new law, Daniel ended up being punished by being thrown into the lion's den. And here's my next question for you. Why was it that the lions didn't hurt Daniel? Well, the answer to that question is that Daniel trusted that God would keep him safe. He kept praying and talking to God, and God shut the lions' mouths so that they didn't hurt him. So we heard in the story that Daniel was in the lion's den all night. And during this time the king was very worried about him because the king liked Daniel, and he also realised that his advisors had tricked him into making the new law. So in the morning the king hurried to the lion's den to see what had happened to Daniel. And my question is, what did he do next? Well, the king helped Daniel out of the lion's den, and he was so pleased that God had kept him safe, and he realised that he'd made a mistake by making that law, and he said that now he believed in God too. And in fact he said that everyone in the land should now pray to Daniel's God. So did you manage to answer those questions? And do you think there's anything that we can learn from the story of Daniel in the lion's den? Well, I'm hoping that I never meet a real lion like Daniel did. But there might still be things in my life that can make me a bit worried or frightened. Maybe you feel like that too sometimes. And also, there might be times when we have to make choices to do the right thing, even if it's not easy. And I think that we can learn from Daniel that the reason he was a hero was because he chose to do the right thing, even though it wasn't easy, and also that he trusted that God would keep him safe and God would be with him. You know, Christians believe that we can trust God, that he'll keep us safe as well, especially when we choose to do the right thing and to follow him. Now I thought there's one more thing we could do in our video today to help us remember the story of Daniel in the lion's den. And that is to make our own lion, just like this one. So I'm going to get the things ready and I'll show you how to make it. Right, here are the things I'm going to use to make my lion. And probably the most important thing is to have a paper plate or something else that you can cut to make a circle shape, because that's going to be your lion's head. So I've got a paper plate, I've got some yellow cards to make its face, but again, if you don't have yellow, you could just have some white card and colour it in yellow or any colour that you wanted. And then I've got some more colours. I've got pens and pencils, and I've chosen colours that will be just right for making a lion's mane. So I've chosen brown and yellow and orange. Again, you could use paint if that's what you've got at home, what you prefer to use. And I've got an ordinary pencil as well. And then here I've got some scissors and some sellotape and a glue stick. Just a couple of little blank pieces of paper. I'll show you what those are for in a minute. And then over here I've got a straw and 2 pipe cleaners. And if you don't have those things at home, again, don't worry, you can just make some strips of card or just use anything that you've got at home. So let's see what we have to do. The first thing you need to do is to get your paper plate like that, and we're going to colour around the edge of the paper plate to make the colours for the lion's mane. I've started with this one and I've already done some lines in yellow going out like that, and now I'm going to do some more. I'm going to do some orange, and I'm just doing lines that sort of follow the lines of the ridges in the plate, because you probably know that a paper plate has ridges all the way around the edge, and you can take your time and do this a bit more carefully if you want to. And then I'm thinking I'm going to have another colour as well. I'm going to put some brown lines on as well. There we go. So you keep going all the way around the plate, making lines that look like the lion's hair that makes up its mane. Have a look at a picture of a lion if you can find one and see its big shaggy mane. There we go. I haven't put any colour in the middle because I'm going to make a circle for the lion's face out of something else. So what you then need to do is cut strips to make the hair on your lion's mane. And I think the easiest way to do that is if you look at the back of the plate, you can see where all the little ridges are. And I'm going to get my scissors and I'm just going to cut along those ridges. So you don't want to cut anything off, you're just making snips all the way through the ridges on the outside of the plate. And you're going to keep going like this all the way around. Now while I'm cutting, I'm just going to tell you about a little video you can watch if you want to. Just check with somebody they don't mind you watching. But at the bottom of this video there's a link to a little video that shows the story of Daniel. In fact, it's a song, and you can watch that and hear the story of Daniel again in a song. So there we go. Keep snipping. And you know what? Just to save a bit of time, I'm going to show you one that I've finished already. So here it is. Here is my plate with all the ridges cut, and on the other side I've got the colours to make my lion's mane. So now we need to make his face. And to do that, you're going to cut a piece of card or a piece of paper. I've got some yellow here, and I've found something that is about the same size as the middle of my plate. And I'm going to draw around it to make my lion's face. So I'm going to put it on the card, and draw around like that. And then I'm going to get my scissors and cut round to make a circle. And I'm doing this quite quickly now, but you can take your time and make it nice and tidy. There we go. A circle for a lion's face. So he's going to need some eyes and a nose. And what I've just done on my plain pieces of paper, I've got some eyes which I'm going to cut out and stick on. And I've just made a little triangle shape for his nose. We'll stick that on as well. And you can see the one that I finished already. There it is. There's my lion's face, 2 eyes and his nose, and I've just drawn his mouth there. And you might have noticed there are some little marks here where I've made some little holes. So what I've done is I just made a mark with a pencil, and then I pushed the pencil through the card to make the hole. And if you're going to do that, you need to put something underneath the card so that you don't hurt yourself or hurt the table. And then you can push down through where you want your holes to be. And the reason I've done that is because I'm going to make some whiskers out of the pipe cleaners. So I've got my 2 pipe cleaners and I'm going to thread them through the holes. So this pipe cleaner is going to go down through that hole and then come back up through that one on the other side at the bottom. There we are, let's see if I can do it. And like I said, if you don't have pipe cleaners, then you could find something else to make whiskers out of. You might have some card or something like that at home that you could use. Oops, a bit curly. And there's one. I'll straighten it out in a minute. And this one is going to go in at the front and then out on the other side again. So we'll pop it in there. And this time I'll put it through there. Pull it through, and there are my lion's whiskers. And you can just straighten them up, make them flat if you want. And then I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of my lion's face, on the back I mean, like this. Put some glue on, and then I can stick it onto my lion's mane. So there he is, look at that. And did you know it's just the male lions that have a mane? The females, or the lady lions, don't have a mane. There we go. And what I've just done is I'm just going to very gently bend some of these little bits forward, which just makes the mane, makes it look like it's got a bit of a 3D effect. It just shows what a lovely mane this lion has got. There we go. And then there's one more thing you can do if you want to, which is, I've got my straw, which I can't find. I wonder what I've done with it. So I've said there's one more thing that you can do if you want to. What I'm going to do is turn the lion's face over, and then I've got a straw which I'm just going to stick onto the bottom here, just with a little bit of tape. And because this is a straw that has one of these bendy bits in it, when I hold up my lion and give it a little wobble, its face will wobble. I hope you can see that. But you could just use an ordinary piece of cardboard or a pencil or something like that to fix your lion to. Now I noticed something interesting when I was making my lion this way, that actually if I was to put the lighter colours on the outside and the dark colour in the middle, a bit like an opposite of this lion, then I would get something that looked a bit like this, which I think looks a bit like a sunflower. And I know that Julie and Scruff like sunflowers because they planted some seeds, didn't they? And they've been watching them grow. So I'm going to give this sunflower to Julie and Scruff while they're waiting for their sunflowers to grow. So there you are. I hope you've enjoyed our video today and that you've enjoyed watching Julie and Scruff and Lenny the Lion. and hearing the story of Daniel in the Lion's Den. And maybe you would like to make your own lion too. We will look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.